What's going on, everyone? Tech Me Out here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at what is on my iPhone 7 Plus. So I have done what's on my iPhone videos and what's on my Android. I'm gonna link some playlists down below in the event that you want to check them out. But ultimately what I'm gonna be doing is covering some of the apps and not all of them. However, you can see all of them, but I'm only gonna talk about the ones that I use the most. So if you're excited about this, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I'm gonna go ahead and slide on over to the right hand side over here. And so what I'm gonna do is mirror my phone over here so you can see an even better image of what I'm doing on my phone. But before we kick off this list, I first have to thank my sponsor for today's video, Best Fiends. Like seriously, this is the perfect game for that question every kid seems to ask.
You got games on your phone? Huh? You got any games on your phone?
So some of you might already be familiar with the title because Best Fiends Forever is the new game in the Best Fiends trilogy. It's super easy to play because all you have to do is literally tap on your screen to slap away these slugs. And as you defeat them, you're going to be awarded coins, power-ups, and these little guys known as fiends who can actually auto-slap the slugs for you so that you don't even have to tap your screen anymore. Now the ridiculously easy part comes from just having to tap the screen to defeat the slugs, which is ideal for little kids where they hit you with that famous question about your game selection. Whereas the more challenging or slightly engaging part for adults comes into play with the strategy aspect because the ball slugs are super hard to beat. An ideal game for those scenarios where you find yourself needing to kill just a few minutes with something that doesn't require too much attention or effort. It's free to download below. But I'm moving right on along to my first page of apps. These are the apps that I use the absolute most, so I have to have them at hand. I have two pages, one page with just my most commonly used apps, and then on the second page I have some folders and some more, frequently used applications. But starting on my first page, I need quick access to a couple of stock apps, from photos to camera settings, my clock, notes, and reminders because I use all of them every day. And then I also have Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are the three forms of social media that I'm the most active on. So if you don't currently follow me up there, I'm gonna link all of that down below for you so that you can. Then next we have YouTube. Of course, I use that one. Studio is what I use to monitor some of my stats on YouTube. And then I have Amazon. If you follow my What's on My iPhone videos, I mention this every time. I love Amazon. I love shopping on Amazon. I even do a top Amazon deals series. If you don't know what I'm talking about, of course, link down below. I use Google Maps for navigation. I use Spotify for my music because I really like the features and the layout of it, from the ability to have offline playlists onto the curated playlist that it gives you. I really like the selection of songs that they offer, so I am a premium user up there if you're curious. And then I have the Home app. Honestly, now that I look here, I need to move that into a folder because I haven't even set up the Home app. Nothing is set up in here. Now for my calendar, what I like to use is Fantastical. So I really like Fantastical. It's an app that I've been using for years, but the things that I like about it is that I can see my week's agenda down at the bottom. And I also use specific colors for specific calendars. So to have the option to look at the month view and see the colors of those calendars up there and not just a little gray circle, I really like that. And then I have Google Keep. I really like using that because when I jump between my iPhone and my Android device, this allows me to keep some of my notes or things that I want to remember in sync, especially when I'm reviewing something and I've been jotting down notes in there about that product. Now something else I've been really heavy on is Audible. So I just currently finished up a 3-book series, Trust No, and it was really good. So I just love coming in here and listening to books. As you can probably tell, I like a lot of drama books and things like that. Now I love to read, but sometimes time does not allow me to read as much as I want to. I've even found that I kind of go to this over listening to music in the car as of late, so definitely check out Audible. If you want a free trial, I'll have that link down below for you. That's basically how I got into it. Then I have my favorite GIF application. So this is my go-to application that I use when I'm trying to find the perfect GIF. And I really love it because the selection is amazing. You can search for GIFs at the top. You also have a star at the bottom so that you can add your own collection of GIFs that you want to use. And then to download it, all you have to do is just tap on it and hit the down arrow here, and it will then save it and it'll be in your camera roll so you can just add it to your message. Now the second page. So like I mentioned, I have folders here. On the left hand side, I have all of my folders, and then along the bottom, I have my folders as well. So it kind of has like that little L shape to it. So first thing, I have my travel folder. This is where I like to keep all the apps that I use when I'm out on the go or, visiting somewhere. Out of these, the ones that get used most frequently are like Retail Me Not. That's really great for coupons. I also have Nice. If you're not familiar with that, that's where you can try products for free. And I have some videos to come for some products from Nice that you're definitely going to want to see. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to go ahead and hit subscribe now. And then I have deliveries. I use that a lot to track my packages. I just really like it because you have a nice little list of all the items that are on the way. And then if you tap on it, it will show you where the item is on the map. so that's pretty nice. I also like to use Fandango to find out what movies are popular right now and what times they're playing and watch the trailers of them. So I'm a movie buff. If you follow me on Snapchat, you probably get a lot of little snaps of me going to the movies all the time. But this is one of my go-to applications to find out some movies and everything to check out. And I was at first using Waze a lot for GPS navigation because I just really like the interface of it and how it would monitor traffic. But I think it was starting to use my data. I just kind of eased back from it. So this application here called Nighttime is what I like to use as my bedside clock, and as you can see or potentially see, it's very big and bold. So I just sit this on the side of my bed. You can take your finger on the screen and slide to the left or right to adjust the intensity of the brightness of the clock. And then in my extras folder, I just have a bunch of apps that I don't use too often, at least, so I'm gonna just pop one out of there. And then in my utilities folder, I have my Verizon app. That's how I monitor my data and all of that. I have Bitly because I like to use that to shorten up my links so they're not as long when I post them somewhere. I also like to use Genius Scan, especially if I want to scan a document, whether that be a receipt or something of any importance that I want to keep on me. I also have the Play Memories app, which is what I use now with my new 4K camera, the Sony a6300. So we're going to be taking this journey together as I learn the camera, and hopefully we can all notice an improvement in my video quality. And then I like to use Pocket to kind of like bookmark things, but more so put things in a special place for later viewing that I don't want to bookmark, even though I'm kind of still bookmarking the website. Feels like this list is never ending, but then I have ETA. ETA is an app that I recently added and I'm currently enjoying it a lot. I really like it because it allows you to see how far you currently are from a bunch of different locations that you might frequent, such as your house or work or other places that you go to a lot. It tells you how far you are away, and so if you tap on it, what it does is it tells you different ways you can go about getting there in terms of different routes. So I actually probably need to switch this one with the home app on my first page. And then I have my health and social folder. So these are some apps that I use for those types of things. I like to use Hangouts to communicate with people. And then I have Lose It in MyFitnessPal. I was using that a lot more to track my fitness in terms of, food that I had consumed and things like that, but I kind of fell off from that. And then I have 1Password for keeping my passwords. I also have a couple of games in here that I'm currently enjoying. I'm not going to jump all the way into this because I do have a video in progress in terms of games for the iPhone 7. I also use Feedly to track the news and things, primarily for tech related things, because that's all I really have in here that I want to monitor. So this is just where I go to get all the latest tech news. Then moving into my home tech folder, these are some things that I use quite frequently to just monitor the tech in my home. And my photography folder, out of these, the ones that I use the most are Prisma, Cinemagraph, and Enlight. So I really love those applications, especially Prisma. As you can see, once I snap my photo here, you can add all these different effects to make your photo just kind of look different. So I really like those. Got kind of sidetracked. And then now you can also do videos. You can do Prisma videos. So that's pretty cool. And then this shopping folder here is where all the applications are that I like to use to shop with. And then lastly, this app here in the bottom right, this is one that's kind of new on my list here, and it's called Quickie. So what happens is if you have an iPhone 6s or later, you can 3D touch on the icon, and it pulls up all these apps that you can actually program to be seen here so that you can have quick access to them. And the neat thing about Quickie is that you can have more than one Quickie, so to speak, on your screen that you can interact with to get quick access to your applications. So for those that you don't want to toss in a folder and you want to be able to access them a lot quicker, then Quickie might be a way to do so. Yeah, oh, and I almost forgot this application down here at the bottom, Spark. That is what I use to check my emails. So I think I introduced you all to this particular application in my last video for what's on my iPhone. So the main reason that I really liked it was the interface. So you have something called a smart inbox where it's going to put your unread emails at the top, your flagged emails in the middle, and then your inbox down at the bottom. So because I flag a lot of emails, it was nice that it kind of put it at the forefront by keeping it in the middle, and then my unread emails at the top so that I always know these are the ones that need my attention. But ultimately, that's really it that I have on my iPhone. I hope I did not drag this video out too long. But if you have any questions about any apps, be sure to drop it down below. And feel free to check out my other What's on My iPhone videos linked down below. So as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you